What if I told you the next global powerhouse isn't who you think it is? Brazil, Russia, and Indonesia are locked in a silent battle for supremacy. But only one will dominate by 2025. They don't headline G7 summits. They're not the usual suspects, but Brazil, Russia, and Indonesia are quietly rewriting the future of global power. And here's why you should care. Brazil commands the heart of South America, a country of tropical wealth, fierce culture, and more fresh water than any other nation on Earth. Russia, a frozen behemoth that still holds one of the world's largest arsenals and commands oil, gas, and influence across continents, even while under global sanctions. And Indonesia, the sleeper, an archipelago of over 17,000 islands rising not just economically, but demographically. The fourth most populous nation on the planet just joined BRICS, and they're bringing their digital economy with them. But there's a twist you won't see coming when we talk population growth and energy dominance. Let's talk numbers, but not the boring kind. Brazil's GDP in 2024 just crossed $2.17 trillion, bouncing back hard from past recessions. Agribusiness is booming again, and Brazil's exports are rising fast. Soybeans, iron, beef, the world eats what Brazil grows. Russia's GDP, nearly identical at $2.16 trillion, is built differently. It's less about volume, more about leverage. Russia is sanction-proofing itself, using its oil and gas not just as revenue, but as weapons in the global economy. With foreign reserves near $600 billion, Moscow is playing the long game. And then, there's Indonesia. Its economy surged past $1.5 trillion. But here's the kicker. In purchasing power, it already beats the UK and France. Its digital economy is exploding, with unicorn startups, fintech apps, and e-commerce platforms leading Southeast Asia. One of these countries is on track to outgrow France by 2030. And it's not who you expect. Weapons don't win wars, influence does. Russia still ranks #2 in global firepower. With 1.32 million active troops, thousands of tanks, and the largest nuclear stockpile on Earth, it's no surprise they dominate military metrics. But look deeper. Russia has quietly expanded Arctic bases and is pushing into Africa via private military groups like Wagner. Brazil, on the other hand, doesn't aim to intimidate. Its military focuses on stability, not aggression. Through UN peacekeeping missions and regional security, Brazil is a quiet enforcer, with 360,000 active troops, but a presence that punches above its weight in diplomacy. Indonesia is the wild card. With over 400,000 personnel and the largest navy in Southeast Asia, they're safeguarding some of the most vital trade routes on the planet, including the South China Sea. They're not chasing global wars. They're defending global trade. One of them is quietly building influence in Africa and the Middle East, and no one's talking about it. Here's the part where it gets unexpected. Indonesia has 220 million people under the age of 40, a youthful population, fully mobile, digital first. Every year, over 3.5 million Indonesians hit working age, a demographic goldmine. Brazil has a mixed bag. Big cities are growing fast, but poverty and inequality are widening. Urban migration is pressuring infrastructure, and education isn't keeping pace. Still, a large working class keeps the economy moving. Russia? It's shrinking. Fast. The population is aging, birth rates are plummeting, and life expectancy, especially for men, is falling. Some projections say Russia could lose 10 million workers by 2035. But there's one stat that will shock you. Their future workforce might collapse before it even starts. And wait until you hear what Indonesia just did with Google's help. It's turning rural villages into tech hubs. In 2025, the next superpower won't just have tanks or oil, it'll have code, chips, and mines. Brazil is waking up. Sao Paulo and Recife are now regional tech hubs, with government incentives bringing in international investors. But here's the challenge. Public education is underfunded. In 2021, Brazil spent just $407 per person on education. That's less than half of what South Korea spends. Still, startups like Nubank and Wildlife Studios show Brazil's digital firepower is growing, if it can escape red tape and corruption. Russia, meanwhile, is a tech paradox. It ranks among the top for AI researchers and cybersecurity talent. Its aerospace and weapons AI development has surged under military investment. But here's the twist. Economic isolation is driving innovation inward. Think, domestic alternatives to Google, Western chips, and even cloud infrastructure. And Indonesia? Quietly crushing it. Google, Microsoft, and Alibaba have poured billions into the country's edtech sector. Remote villages are getting broadband, and app-based learning is booming. Indonesia is now Southeast Asia's Silicon Valley. Platforms like Ruang Guru are reshaping how students learn. Fast, mobile-first, gamified. Guess which one of these is becoming the Silicon Valley of Southeast Asia? Oil, gas, rare earths. The next war might not be fought over land, but lithium. Let's start with Russia. They don't just have oil, they are oil. Ranked #3 in oil production and #2 in natural gas, Russia's energy exports are still flowing even during sanctions. In fact, they've rerouted pipelines toward Asia and invested in Arctic drilling. Add in nuclear energy exports and coal reserves, and they're playing a dangerous game, weaponizing energy. Brazil, by contrast, is rich in nearly everything, but it's a race against time. The Amazon holds 20% of the world's freshwater and massive untapped biodiversity. But illegal logging and mining are surging. Oil reserves are rising off the coast, but climate activists warn, you drill here, you kill the lungs of the planet. Then comes Indonesia, the nickel king. With the largest nickel reserves in the world, essential for EV batteries, they've become the gatekeeper of green energy. Add palm oil, coal, and natural gas to the mix, and they're holding a full hand. But at what cost? Deforestation is accelerating, and the climate bill is coming due. The resource war is coming, and one of these three already has the upper hand. What shapes a nation's power in the minds of billions? Stories, songs, festivals, an influence you can't bomb. Brazil might just be the coolest of the three. Carnival, samba, football. Brazil dominates hearts through rhythm and spectacle. Millions flood Rio every year. Brazilian influencers are now global TikTok royalty. But crime and inflation have made tourism volatile. Russia flexes a different kind of soft power. Literature, ballet, chess, Cold War nostalgia. From Dostoevsky to the Bolshoi, its high culture still captures Western fascination. But after Ukraine, sanctions, and increasing global skepticism, Russia's brand is more feared than followed. Indonesia is rising, fast. Bali is now the #1 digital nomad hotspot in Asia. Instagram creators, remote workers, and crypto investors are relocating by the thousands. Add a booming film industry and pan-Asian musical influence, and Indonesia's becoming a cultural bridge between East and West. But one of them is quietly becoming the top destination for digital nomads and creators. So what happens next? BRICS Plus now includes Indonesia, making it a 10-nation bloc rivaling the West. They're building a common currency to challenge the US dollar. Brazil and Russia are pushing for multipolar trade, less reliance on SWIFT, more deals in local currencies. Indonesia is expected to become one of the top 5 Asian economies by 2030. Youth, tech, and exports could turn it into the next South Korea, just bigger, louder, and tropical. Brazil has the land and resources to win, but only if it tackles corruption, inequality, and infrastructure gaps. Russia has military and energy, but faces demographic collapse and diplomatic isolation. If it can't reinvent itself internally, it may fade from the top tier. And experts say this country could flip the script in just 10 years. And in this global race, one of these three could become the next silent superpower. Let's connect the dots. Beyond the numbers, beyond the headlines, Brazil is a sleeping lion. It has the land, the natural wealth, the culture, but its future depends on leadership and reform. If it can stabilize inflation and invest in education, it could dominate South America and maybe even rival parts of Europe in GDP by 2035. But for now, it's stuck in transition. Russia is a fortress on fire. Its strength is undeniable. Tanks, nukes, energy, but it's boxed in. Sanctions are slowing tech growth. Its aging population is shrinking its workforce. If Russia doesn't modernize internally, it risks becoming powerful, but isolated. Indonesia is the storm you didn't see coming. Young, tech-savvy, economically rising, and culturally relevant. It's the only one of the three where all the trends are pointing upward. Demography, tech, exports, and geopolitical relevance. It's building, not surviving. And here's the part no one's talking about. Indonesia just passed a national law allowing 100% foreign investment in key tech sectors. It's a magnet now, for capital, talent, and influence. Let's break it down fast, stat for stat. Hey everyone, guess what? Right here in our big city, Jakarta, there's something that will blow your mind. Imagine this, every single day, tons of people walk right past it, but nobody even sees it. The numbers involved are just so wild. You want to know what it is? Okay, I'll spill the beans, but you better be ready for this. Okay, here we go. Yo, what is up, everyone? You are not gonna believe what I'm about to tell you. Seriously, get ready for this. So picture this. Right here, in our city, every single day, something absolutely wild happens. We're talking big numbers like statistic. Crazy, right? But hold up, it gets even crazier. I've got a story today that's gonna make your jaw drop. You think you've heard it all? Trust me, you haven't heard this. So, it all started on a totally normal Tuesday. Or so they thought. Okay, hold up. You see that? That little dash, then that straight line? Looks like nothing, right? Just symbols. But what if I told you these tiny marks are about to blow your mind? Seriously? Stick with me, because this is where it gets crazy. Alright, check this out, everyone. So, you know how Jakarta is, right? Always something happening, always buzzing. But have you heard the latest? People all over the city, from way up north to down south, are talking about this asterisk sound asterisk. Yeah, a sound. And get this, it's not just a few folks, we're talking thousands. They say it happens late at night, when everything's quiet. Imagine this, you're chilling, maybe scrolling your phone, and then BAM! This super weird hum, like nothing you've ever heard before. Some say it's low, like a giant breathing. Others say it's high, almost like a whistle, but bigger. What could it be? Nobody knows. That's the crazy part. Is it some secret project or something else? Stick with me, because we're gonna dive deep into this. You won't believe what some people are guessing. This is one mystery you do not want to miss. Yo, for real, you are not gonna believe this. Okay, so picture this, right? We were just chilling, minding our own business, and then BAM! Something totally wild happened. Like, out of a movie, seriously. You wanna know what went down? Stick around, because this story is gonna blow your mind. It's gonna be epic. Hey everyone, what is up? We're back. So listen to this. Have you ever heard about the wildest story from, like, deep in the heart of Jakarta? It's a bit of a mystery. Okay, so the story goes, there's this hidden treasure, like, for real riches. But it's guarded by something super creepy. And get this, the word on the street is 7 out of 10 folks who went looking for it, poof, vanished, never seen again. How crazy is that? But hey, no worries. We're gonna break down all the clues piece by piece, just like solving a puzzle. Who knows, maybe we can crack this thing together. You are not gonna wanna miss this, so stick around. Don't even think about changing that channel. Hey, what's up everyone? You think you know Jakarta? Like really know it? All the tall buildings, the busy streets, the awesome food? Well, get ready for this. There are secrets hidden in our city. Big ones. Things you walk past every day and never even see. We heard whispers, stories about a place. A place that's totally not what you'd expect in the middle of all this concrete. So, what did we do? We went looking. Yeah, your boys and girls on the ground exploring. And you guys, what we found? It's like stepping into another world. Seriously. Imagine this. Right here in our Jakarta, there's a spot so green, so quiet, you'll forget you're in one of the biggest cities on Earth. Birds singing, trees so tall they touch the sky, and the air so fresh. It's like, whoa, is this still Jakarta? It's a little piece of wild right in our backyard. Can you believe it? It just shows, man. Jakarta is full of surprises. You just gotta look a little closer. Keep your eyes open. So next time you're out and about, maybe you'll find your own hidden gem. What do you think is the coolest secret spot in Jakarta? Let me know. Alright, check it out. We've got something super cool for you today. Seriously, you're gonna want to stick around for this one. It's gonna be epic. You ready? Let's go. This isn't just a scoreboard, it's a warning shot. The global balance is shifting, and not everyone's ready for it. So, who do you think will rise to the top? Brazil, with its cultural firepower and unmatched biodiversity? Russia, with energy dominance and raw military strength? Or Indonesia, the young disruptor rewriting Asia's future? Comment below. Not just with your pick, but why you think they'll rise. Like, subscribe and hit the bell, because next week we uncover the silent superpower no one's watching, and it might just flip the world order.